up at the buildings will be as changeable as possible. So hopefully you won't recognize them from one production to the next. Now, how many of you have seen Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey? If I say movie, alrighty. We are about to turn onto we're about to turn onto Brownstone Street. This is where Jim Carrey and Jennifer Aniston lived in the movie Bruce Almighty. In fact, folks, here's how it looks on film. Take a look.
Say, bad dog. Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Oh, you're done now. Great.
Beautiful. Alrighty, folks. Now, if you look on your left, you'll notice that it's a residential area, while on your right-hand side, it's a business district. That's so that we can have the camera change location simply by flipping it around. It'll look like it's in two different parts of town. Right now, I'll show you something else that's beautiful. Right now, we are turning onto another one of our metropolitan roads. This is called New York Street. And if you take a look down both ends of the road, you'll notice it curves. That's to give the illusion that the street continues onward, when in fact, that's where it ends, right there. Now, I don't know how many, actually, let me tell you something, folks, all these facades I've been showing you today are normally only used for exterior filming, but sometimes we'll need to have more control over lighting, sound, and weather, so it's actually what we've done. We need to, I can't talk. We need to build an entire portion of a city inside of a soundstage. That's exactly what we've done inside of this one coming up. Have those cameras ready. Uh-oh, no news is good news.
Late word just in. Rapid destruction continues east, causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit that they are powerless to stop the enraged beast. Military units are rushing to the scene. The beast was last sighted near the 200 block of Old Fulton Avenue. We now go to live coverage on the scene with our helicopter reporter, Kelly King. Kelly.
We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tramload of people down there. We've got to go down and warn them. There's 10 people on the tram. You are in danger. Repeat, you are in danger. We have to go down and help them. Behind us, where are the people? Where? Oh my gosh!
Just survived an encounter with old Banana Breath himself. Curious George. No. King Kong. Now, King Kong is a great example of what we call a mechanical effect. Now, a lot of mechanical monsters are only about several inches tall, like the tiny little hobby dinosaurs you saw in the Lost World. Other mechanical animals can be as big as full-size T-Rexes and require several skilled technicians manning the controls. Now, mechanical effects and miniatures were used to create King Kong in previous versions of the film. The Kong you just saw, though, is nothing like the one you currently see on video and DVD. We have our own version of King Kong available, and it stars Naomi Watts, Jack Black, and Adrian Brody. And that Kong features advanced, never-before-seen computer-generated imagery that's been thrilling audiences worldwide. We'll be talking about King Kong in a little bit more detail a little bit later on. Right now, We were about to turn onto one of our metropolitan roads. We kind of glanced at it earlier. It's called New York Street. You'll notice it curves at the end, like I was talking about earlier. You can actually see that little curve in the end. You'll also see it at the other end of the road. Excuse me. Right now, here's Whoopster to tell you a little bit more about New York Street.
New York. It's my kind of town. It's big and bustling and completely superficial. Easy on the snow there, Frosty. We call this area New York Street, but it's doubled as more cities and more time periods and more movies and more commercials and more music videos than any other spot in the world. You can shoot a scene in any city you need to and still make it back to your Malibu beach house in time for your private Pilates workout with an avocado rub or whatever you're into. Good? All right, let's go. I want to beat the traffic, but don't take the tunnel this time of day. It's too crowded. Because I want you to cross down to 5th, head down that way. See that? I want to stop in the burlesque joint. You know, I got a little job I need to do.
Alrighty. Now, New York Street was recently used as New York for Spider-Man 2, starring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. And it was also London for The Prestige, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. It's currently in theaters. It's also Boston for the TV show